everyone, welcome to Aftermath Digital TV. What's up? Caroline here with the boys. Nugs ready to go, as you can see. Anthony Corelli, Jimmy Corderas. Guys, how are you?
Oh, hot. Finally. I mean,
God.
this, it's one of those things where you say, man, are we ever going to get this good weather? Then you get it and you go, man, it's too hot. But I don't, whatever.
I never say it's too hot. Never.
Why doesn't
I love
it snow? Why doesn't it snow in July when it's hot and we need it? Come on,
Exactly.
guys.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I count my life by summers. Honestly, I've done that for a long time. If I got to wait 5 years, I go, that's 5 summers.
Yeah.
I love it. Gardening, our backyard has become our little piece of paradise / sanctuary. And, I put a new bird house and we got bird feeders and little pool and garden and play set. So we're in the backyard a lot. We love it. Absolutely love it.
No, I
Look
love
at you,
this
Mr.
summer.
Nature.
I am Mr. Nature.
You got a little burn too, AC.
Oh yeah, and we go for long bike rides. We went down to
Nice.
Arundel Park along the Credit River for, it was about an hour and a half bike ride.
Nice. Good. All right, wins and fails on this segment. Anthony, you're starting us off with your win. It's a good one.
Yeah, Apollo Crews, man, that was fantastic. We talked about the perception of momentum and timing, and it all just came together. And he looked genuinely so happy that he could, because after your career, people were going to ask you, were you ever a champion? That kind of thing. And now we get to say he was the United States champion, and they can never take that away from him. And it's in the history books. And he had a lot of hype behind him in the beginning. And as soon as somebody doesn't deliver immediately, they kind of they lose hope. It takes time sometimes, and now's the time. So congratulations, Apollo Crews.
It's nice to see somebody's patience and perseverance pay off. I mean, a lot of times as fans, sometimes we want things to happen right away. We say, I recognize the talent in this young man. I want him to succeed. But you got to also remember that there is a roster full of people that are talented and want to succeed as well. So your time may come a little later than others, but it's nice to see that finally patience and perseverance pays off for a young, talented individual. Now it's all about what
comes next. Nug, are we still calling him Apollo Snooze, or is he?
No. Here's when he first came in, not just to WWE but to NXT. There was, like Jimmy, there was a ton of hype about this guy. There was a ton of hype, and every interview was the same with him. He said, "I want to be a champion. I just want to work hard. I want to be a champion." And I thought, everybody wants to be a champion. What makes you special? Nobody's here that doesn't want to be a champion. Show me something special. And every interview was the same for so long, and he just kind of spun his wheels. With the last month or so of Apollo Crews, he's better on the microphone. He's great in the ring. He's more comfortable on television. And now he's United States champion, which is great for two reasons. One, because I think it's time Andrade moves up into the heavyweight championship picture. And two, this opens up a crazy amount of amazing matches that are on the way for Apollo Crews. Just look at Apollo against Murphy, Apollo against Austin Theory, Apollo against Zelina, what's his name, Angel Garza. All these guys are going to put on amazing matches with Apollo Crews because Apollo's very, very good at what he does. This is a perfect place for Apollo to be.
And you know what I loved about it? He was so genuinely, there was a sense of pride. As soon as he won that title, he's like, I finally won my first WWE title. And even the reaction from others on Monday Night Raw was just, for me, the biggest feel-good moments are when there's an authentic reaction. And I felt it was so genuine. And I really was really happy for him, I don't know. I thought that was just you could tell for him that was a very important moment and milestone in his career.
Yeah, the first one's real. That's what Shawn Michaels says. The first one's real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, my win was exactly that. I think all of our wins were giving Apollo Crews a shout out. But later on Monday Night Raw, we saw a little promo from my favorite Rob Gronkowski. So maybe I changed my win to Rob Gronkowski still being 24/7 champ, giving us an amazing promo. R-Truth just killing it. I think that he's hilarious. I can't wait to see where the 24/7 championship goes. You saw R-Truth put on some football gear towards the end. I think it's going to be an exciting little way to see, what happens with the title. But man, I could watch Rob Gronkowski all day, no matter what he says. I'm literally sitting here alone, cracking up, laughing out loud to myself. I think he's so entertaining. I hope he hangs on to that title for a little bit. And maybe one day when R-Truth gets it, it's done in a really, cool way, along the lines of, WWE meets football. So we'll see. But I love that. And also honorable mention to Oscar on commentary. I had like 5 voices. So I loved everything.
Yeah, I like you said, Rob Gronk, I can't even say his name, was so entertaining last night. And yes, I get people get upset with the term sports entertainment, but that's exactly what this is.
Yes.
And Rob Gronkowski gets that. And you talk about athletes from other sports, transitioning into pro wrestling. He just looks like a perfect fit. He gets it, for lack of a better term. And R-Truth, I can't say enough good things about R-Truth. He can make you laugh. He can make you get serious. All of the above. I thought this could be very entertaining going forward.
You know what, Jimmy, when I was listening to R-Truth yesterday, I was like, man, I wish we saw more of him. But I actually like not seeing him a lot, because when he's sprinkled in, he's such like magic, like you're just like, it's such a treat. Remember how we were talking about that last week with Charlotte Flair, that we almost wish that we didn't see her as much. R-Truth, man, like he's talented. That guy, I feel like he's just like that in real life,
He is. He's very funny in real life. But sometimes, when you have a very serious storyline, there's been betrayal, there's been a beatdown, a bad guy was victorious and there's that bad sense in the air. And all of a sudden, boom, little R-Truth and reset. It's all fresh again and the atmosphere changes. So he's great. With Rob Gronkowski, I would love to see him wrestle a little bit, though. I know he's going to play again, so he probably can't risk getting hurt. But, being an elite athlete and being where he is in the Performance Center, he would do really well in a ring and in matches. So that would be pretty cool to watch.
He's very good on the microphone, which puts him ahead of a lot of people already in WWE.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoyed last night of that interview was R-Truth finally realizing that Tom Brady does not have the 24/7 championship. And in a perfect world, all of the wrestling companies in the world would get along, because it'd be great for R-Truth to show up in the middle of a ladder match for another company claiming that he thought it was Money in the Bank.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Imagine. All right, Jimmy, your win.
Okay, I know last week I had a little issue with Bailey, and she wasn't resonating with me, and there was something lacking. There was something missing, and I don't know. We talked about how Charlotte is appearing maybe a little bit too much, but her match with Charlotte on Friday SmackDown finally made me invested in what Bailey was doing and where she was going, and I want to see what's going to happen next with her. I like where this story could be possibly going between her and Sasha Banks, and maybe there's a rivalry brewing there, some a little internal fighting, some jealousy or whatever's going on. I'm just happy that I'm finally interested and invested in what Bailey is doing, because like we said, we weren't buying her as the villainous bad girl. But again, whether it was Charlotte who brought it out of her, whatever the reasoning is, it was brought out on Friday, and I finally got a little bit interested.
Yeah, I think Bailey is somebody who's been not overexposed, but there's been a lot of Bailey, and I think she could benefit from maybe taking a little break just to make it fresh again,
And Bailey hasn't been on our interest list for a long time. And, we talk about Charlotte being overused, but it took Charlotte to make us take interest in Bailey again.
Interesting point.
And she can work, she's definitely good. Just, every day.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's a lot of good workers out there. There's a lot of talented individuals out there. It's all about connecting with your audience. And you got all these people. You can have I hate that I'm going to say this, 5-star matches and whatever, but unless you connect with your audience, that means absolutely jack squat. You thought I was going to say it, didn't you?
We are online, Jimmy. There's no rules.
Oh, that's true too.
Jack squat. That's my new favorite. I'm going to use that, Jimmy.
Jack squat.
Nug, I like your win. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Wrestling Night in America. It looked like a hockey game, and I was fine with it. You know, the only thing I wanted was more fans banging on the glass. I thought having the NXT stars in the crowd was fantastic. I thought Apollo Crews actually should have said something in his speech where it's like, I just did this, and one day one of you can do this. Like, to be in the ring and be the example of what you can become for a room full of people that are trying to get there is pretty cool. Secondly, when Charlotte came down the ramp, she flexed the belt to the NXT people in the crowd, and I thought Jessamine Duke was going to come through the plexiglass. She was like, she was hot, and it was awesome. And shout out to all the NXT superstars that actually got their faces on TV last night. Like Jessamine Duke, I saw Malcolm Bivens going crazy in the front row. We saw Toronto's own Aaliyah. We saw everybody. Like, it seemed like the important people got shown on TV last night. But it was great to have people in the crowd. And I like that the plexiglass was there. If that's the new normal, I'm fine with it. It separates the riffraff from the wrestlers, which is great. But also keeping people as safe as possible. Jumping in later past the glass to break up a fight, but the rest of it was great.
I blame John Cohen, the referee, for
you
that.
Absolutely should. He made a bad decision.
John, I'm watching you. But I totally agree. Not just for the safety, issues with the glass. I like that. I'm glad nobody got a boarding penalty last night or anything like that, which would have been really interesting, like roughing against it. Anyways, but adding that noise, adding that background noise, what's been missing for the last, I don't know how long since they've gone to the Performance Center to do Raw and SmackDown and NXT. This adds a different element to the presentation, and it definitely helps. You can have all the commentary you want. Selena Vega outside screaming and yelling is great, but you need that background noise as well. And I thought that was a definite plus last night.
Yeah, it was interesting. First of all, it looked like, when you go to like a wedding and there's a few people trying to get the dance floor started when they're all kind of spaced out.
That's me.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, everyone.
It looked like that. Like they're just trying to get the dance floor going. The fact that it was, okay, so when we were in OVW, Paul Heyman would have the intermediate class, the guys that weren't signed to developmental contracts yet, to go fill in seats strategically for the OVW television. And then we would cheerlead a little bit, and have bigger reactions and really boo the bad guys. And it works, totally works to kind of have some plants in there. These guys, but the NXT guys, they know the superstars and they trained with them and they're friends with them. So you could see that they were having a little extra fun because it was their friends that they were actually cheering for as well. And I was wondering, I wonder if it'd be better to have actual fans spread out, but I like the NXT guys out there too.
Yeah. They can learn a lot.
Yeah.
By being there.
Exactly. You're watching the guys. You want to get to that next level, right? You want to be that guy on Raw or on SmackDown. So what better way than to watch like these actual superstars?
The actual in-ring performers, it was to have them there. It's like a security blanket in terms of, you can look to the audience and because it's a natural reaction that they have. But when there's nobody in the audience, you can see them fighting that desire to turn to the audience and do something. But now it's like they can look and smile, and there's just it's a little bit back to normal.
Yeah, as you can attest, you're trained to play to the audience. And then when you're on television, it was that you're not, again, playing to the cameras when you're on TV, but without an audience there, it changed, and you had to go to, you're cutting a promo now to the camera.
It's the reaction. It's the instant feedback. I've been doing some comedy shows, some sketch and some improv on Zoom, and with no instant reaction from the audience, when I say something that I know is funny and should get a laugh and there's nothing, it's like, ooh, boy, I hope that's going well. So now with an audience in there, those people know that move looked good, that line worked, this thing I did worked in the ring because I got that reaction.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nug, you're fail. I like both your win and fail.
Hey, let's talk about those classic 1980s rivalries where the Midnight Express and the Road Warriors played a game of mini golf. Let's talk about where the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation played tiddlywinks just to see who was better. What a bunch of garbage. Also, hey, I don't know what the rules are where they went golfing, but here it's no one person per cart, everybody's 6 feet apart, and I'll be damned if those guys were 6 feet apart on that golf course last night. All right? Second of all, you don't wear a kilt that's one kind of plaid with another kind of plaid. You guys, your fashion is out of date.
Tell him, Nug. Tell him.
I wasn't a big fan of it, but it also, what it did do for me though, I'm trying to put a positive spin on this.
Sure.
Is every once in a while on the SmackDown crew back in the day, sometimes we would get a Monday off during the week because, you know, the Raw guys, blah, blah. And one of our things that we used to do on those days off is there's a group of us like JBL and Booker T and myself and Larry the trainer, and we would play golf. So it kind of brought back some fun memories of us playing golf, but at the same time, I don't remember either one of those guys pulling out a turkey leg, or I can't recall Booker wearing a kilt or anything like that, or JBL giving a clothesline from hell to somebody. But
Yeah,
I would prefer that they maybe eliminate. I get having fun and entertainment, but that was a little too much for me.
yeah, no, it's forced, and that's the thing, right? You know, you look at Otis, that's natural. He's just funny.
Yeah.
R-Truth, he's just funny. You know, and Nug can attest to this. When somebody says, "Oh, you're in comedy, do something funny, go."
Yeah, yep. That's
Yeah, okay.
100% the worst thing you can say.
Yeah, it's not like you have a funny dispenser. You just press the button and funny comes out. But and this is okay. Here, we're gonna do something funny. It's gonna be funny on purpose, and you guys are gonna be in it, and you guys are gonna be funny, and everyone. Okay, ready, go, be funny. And it just doesn't work. It has to be natural.
There was a natural line last week, or when they were at the Viking games, how many weeks ago that was, and what's his name? Dawkins failed to do that thing, and then he turned around and blamed the horse. Like he wants to fight that horse. And then this week, he had something good happen on the golf course, and he's like, "What do you think of that now, horse?" And the horse wasn't even there. I'm on board with him fighting a horse. I saw Blazing Saddles. I will watch a guy fight a horse. But the rest of it is just so forced, and everybody's out of their element. The Viking Raiders are monsters in the ring. Why are they out there being funny? The Street Profits are clearly entertaining in-ring performers. Why are they golfing?
Right.
None of this makes sense. Get back in the ring. And it took Lashley and MVP walking by and calling them clowns to actually get the Street Profits, the tag team champions, back in the ring.
Wow. And it did create a tweet last night that I found very entertaining from my old friends, the Singh brothers, who were challenging anybody to a game of cricket.
Very nice.
Which I think would be fun.
And that could go on for weeks.
Yes.
Also, the Street Profits,
usually does.
for example, they know their characters, they know their brand of comedy, and to have someone else write. And I used to actually, later in my career, if there was a new writer that came along, and for some reason he was assigned a backstage segment that had me, and would try and write as Santino, and it was ridiculous. I actually used to say, "Who wrote this? Just write it normal. I'll do the Santino, okay? You don't write a Santino." And it's like, "I'm gonna tell you." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, that's a good Santino.
Oh my god.
AC,
Yeah.
and your fail, because your fail. Sorry, Siri. As soon as I said AC, Siri turned on my phone. That's weird.
Boy.
Wow.
Wow. A little iPhone hack.
Oh,
What's your fail?
Hey Siri, hey Siri. It's kind of close.
Oh my God. Okay, tell us your fail.
Oh, it was the same thing. It was the same. It was basically the fail of the entire series. Who cares who's better at basketball? Who cares who's better at golf? Who cares who's better at anything outside of wrestling? Because this is professional wrestling. I mean,
Oh, you're better at darts than I am? Well, here are the belts.
yeah.
Again, if they wanted to do something like this, I would have been fine if it was like in a one-day thing.
Yes.
Yes.
You show it over.
Decathlon.
Yes, exactly. It's like, okay, here was our best of 7 series, and you show clips from the basketballs, clips from the golf, and you do it, and you condense it to a 5-minute segment. I'm cool with that, but to do it week after week, it's just.
Or like a side YouTube segment. Let's have fun with the wrestlers.
Yes.
There you go.
That's fun. Like they used to do a game night on the network Let's do a competition with some of the wrestlers playing like Settlers of Catan against each other.
I always
I'm into
wanted to
that.
see. Remember Battle of the Network Stars?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That with the wrestlers would be amazing.
They did it with Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters in the Laugh Olympics. It was the same thing.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Who won?
The audience.
Oh, okay. Good call.
You son of my.
All right, Jimmy, your fail's up next.
Yeah, again, I'm going back to SmackDown, and I don't have an issue with the Universal Champion defending his title against multiple opponents, whether it's a 3-way, 4-way, whatever the case may be. But in his challenge against Miz and Morrison, if I'm not mistaken, it was stated that if Miz or Morrison were to defeat Braun Strowman, they would become co-Universal Champions. I get that this has different possibilities, and people are thinking, oh, this could be very creative. No, it's a singles title. It's not a co-championship. I don't like
Jimmy. You were there when there were co-intercontinental champions. You were there when there was co-ladies divas champions. Now,
no, but that was
there's going to be a Universal Champion co-champs.
There was but there was a co-intercontinental champions was Chris Jericho and China. Yeah. But there was controversy in the match between those two people.
All right. What about the best friends locket between Laycool, where they were co-ladies champions?
Again, I wasn't a fan of that either. I think no, doesn't sit well for
that damn New Day with 3 guys sharing 2 belts. I tell you.
Yeah, they started it and called it the Freebird rule.
And really quickly, since you brought up that old school Intercontinental with China and Chris Jericho. After that happened, we were traveling. I know exactly why does some of this stuff click to me. It happened in Richmond, Virginia on SmackDown, where they were basically the end of the match was they were both declared the winners. If that's weird. One ref said, yeah. So when we were traveling to Memphis, Tennessee for the next day, neither one of them took the Intercontinental Championship with them, thinking the other would. So of course, who took it? And on their carry-on through Memphis? Yours truly, running around with the Intercontinental Championship. And as we land in Memphis, Tony Chimmel turns to me and says, you don't have a hair on your, if you don't put that thing on and walk through the airport. So, challenge was laid down. So, here we go. We land. I get my carry-on out of the thing. I open it up. Bang. I'm wearing the Intercontinental Championship through the airport in Memphis. And this guy goes to me, hey, what champion are you? I said, I'm your champion.
Oh, very
Look at this is like breaking news. Jimmy, at some point, Jimmy Corderas was IC champion. That's amazing.
Interim.
Until it got out to the locker room that I was wearing the title through the airport, and then I paid for it later. But anyway.
Really? What happened?
Oh, no. Just a little friendly ribbing. Let's just say.
I thought it might be a trip to Wrestler's Court.
Oh, no. Thank God. No.
That's hilarious. I love those stories. My fail, you know what? I really didn't have a fail this week. But then the Lana Lashley stuff came up, and I'm just like, I really don't mind Lashley and Lana away from each other. Together, for me, it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard. But then I'm like, do we see Lana now, turning on Lashley, potentially getting back together with Rusev? And then all of this ends. So, I'm like, it's just like frustrating continuously seeing this storyline keep going, but then I'm like, maybe now it's headed in the right direction for someone like me. But I know that I might be on like an island alone, because a lot of people love this storyline, so I don't know.
Nah, it's the lack of logic. There's a bunch of logic falling apart. Like Lashley and Lana together, nobody liked, and now that they're finally getting apart, they're still showing Lana. Meanwhile, everybody digs this MVP and Lashley thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of logic falling across. Like, if I was going to say where the logic fell for me last night, Natalya being in that 3-way after losing to Shayna Baszler last week. Why are you in that match? Why are you a contender at all? There's a lot of logic problems.
No, that's a good point, but I do agree with you. The best thing to happen to Bobby Lashley is to pair him up with MVP, because now you've got someone who could speak for him, can be a mentor, and really, really, really good pairing there. But I also agree that you can do without the Lana part. That's not unnecessary.
MVP can do it all, man. He can produce, he can manage, he can still fight, host the VIP lounge. Yeah, and he's that savoir-faire. He's just so cool, man.
He's got that je ne sais quoi, or I don't know what.
Yeah, he's also like it's badass.
Hold on,
Man.
let me go to the expert here. Je ne sais quoi means what exactly? Yeah, confirmed.
All right, guys, those are our wins and fails from the last week. Let us know yours. Tweet at us. We're live every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time on Sportsnet, Facebook, and YouTube, and sometimes Twitch. So, come hang out with us. We can't wait to hear from you.
Twitch.
Even if you just want to say hi, we want to say hello.
Hashtag.
And keep an eye out for other segments that are going to go up on Sportsnet YouTube, because we even have like fun trivia segments. We talk about the Taker documentary. So stay tuned for all the cool content coming your way.
Hashtag pandemic life.
Is this how you do it?
No. That's something else completely different. We don't want to go there.